You may not notice when it begins or how it spreads, like the warmth of sunlight filtering through closed eyelids, softly illuminating deeper layers of thought. You might even wonder, when did this shift begin? Isn't that the point? The most powerful transformations, they often come quietly at first. Because once there was a child who believed he couldn't, until one day he simply did. When asked how, he said, I stopped listening to my old stories and started living the new one that felt more like me. And maybe your story has always been waiting for this upgrade. So consider this. Imagine reality as clay. The hands that shape it, beliefs. Your state, the fire that hardens it. Your language, the signature carved into the surface. And your focus, the invisible sculptor, working beyond words. And right now, you can feel those hands beginning to move, something new. Because those who create wealth don't just make money. They generate possibilities, craft vision into value, and they install meaning in motion. Now think of a billionaire mindset, like a kaleidoscope. Turn it once, you see unbound thinking. Turn it again, innovation shimmers into focus. Again, failure reframes into feedback. Again, your presence expands, charisma clicks into place, and you see yourself being visionary, determined, magnetic. And you notice how quickly that begins to feel like home. There was once a man who treated each problem like a puzzle piece. While others saw setbacks, he saw scattered pieces, all asking to be arranged into a bigger picture. What if your mind too begins now to recognize that every challenge contains its own solution? What if your unconscious simply starts fitting the pieces together? That's what visionaries do. They ask questions not to get answers, but to shape better questions. Now notice this. All successful people act before they feel ready. A woman stepped into a room full of strangers. Not knowing anyone, she told herself, this is a playground, let's explore. Because she felt it, others followed. Because you already know, people respond to certainty. And confidence, it isn't something you wait for, it's something you decide. You are enough, not because someone told you, because you decided to feel that way. When that belief locks in, you radiate energy others mirror. You stop needing permission. You start designing momentum. Because deep down, you already are the person you've been waiting to become. You already know this. The mind loves structure, the soul loves freedom, and your unconscious is very, very good at giving you both. So what happens when you surround yourself with supportive minds, clear metrics, fluid feedback, and still know that joy lives in simplicity? You grow without resistance, without trying, because growth is what happens when permission is replaced with commitment. There's a saying, the strongest frame wins. But the strongest frame isn't rigid. It bends, it dances, it absorbs impact and returns clarity. So let's imagine right now, your frame is strengthening, each word becoming reinforcement, each breath is alignment. Each example is a mirror reflecting back a limitless version of you. Emotions are messengers. When you listen, they stop shouting and start guiding. So what if the fear that you once had is actually excitement in disguise? What if the unknown is where your power has been hiding? Wouldn't that shift everything? Now there was this young entrepreneur. He lost everything once, but instead of saying I failed, he said, now I know how it doesn't work. And that's valuable data. He smiled, then built twice as much. And maybe your unconscious right now is discovering all the ways it can use what seemed like failure to fuel your next leap. Because resilience isn't a trait, it's a decision. And right now, you're deciding to bounce higher. A man walked into a room with nothing except a smile, a story and a question. How can I help? By the time he left, He had 3 partnerships, a new business idea, and a crowd of allies. Why? Because people remember how you make them feel. And those who give attention create loyalty. Those who lead with authenticity attract opportunity. And those who ask, what value can I add, always have something to give. And here's the most interesting thing. The more you detach from leading, the more everything comes to you. It's not theory. That's pattern. That's what billionaires understand. Desire is a spark. Detachment is the wind that makes it burn bright. Now pause, let these loops settle in. You don't need to remember every word, because you remember the feeling. And the feeling is the doorway. Your new belief system. It's already being built, integrated, activated, installed. And now, as this all sinks deeper, you don't even have to do anything. Because what you believe becomes what you do. What you do becomes who you are. And who you are is becoming exactly the story you've chosen to live.